Welcome back. The battle for Alberta has reached its crescendo, and the winds of change appear to be blowing. With more on what a Wildrose victory could mean for the province, I'm joined by the host of Byline, Brian Lilley. Hello, Brian.
Good to speak to you, Brian. Apparently, Alberta will be a tiny little place filled with racists and xenophobes. That's if I read that section of Ottawa's parliamentary press pack that writes for places like Rosedale and Toronto, Rockcliffe, and Ottawa.
Being out here, it's a different feeling and scenario altogether.
No question about that. But Brian, what is the real picture that you're getting out there?
Well, the real picture we just got was Danielle Smith voting, and you'll be seeing video of that coming down your way shortly. I just drove back from seeing Ms. Smith cast her ballot. A lot of excitement in the air. She mentioned that she hopes this is time for generational change. But she also was greeted by, I would like to say protesters, but really it was one, and it's a rather infamous one, Brigitte Pape, the Senate page that showed up or held up the stop sign during Stephen Harper's speech from the throne last year. And so she flew all the way from Ottawa to High River to hold up a stop sign outside of Danielle Smith's voting location. And
wow.
And then talked about how Albertans have to reject this, and there needs to be a new way they need to adopt a new way of looking at things. And I said, well, the voters are speaking and they're rejecting your vision because her vision matches the NDP in Alberta and the Liberal Party in Alberta, who would be lucky to get 10% each of the vote. And she just kept repeating herself over and over again. So there is an Eastern fear of a Wildrose win. And if the polls do hold, it will be a Wildrose win, and the people of Alberta aren't bothered by that.
Well, here's the question, Brian, that's been cropping up in the last couple of weeks of this campaign. The Wildrose Party looks to be the winner here. The polls have said that, the pundits have said that, and frankly, this was an election that may have been lost before it even started. What does that say about the Conservative movement in Canada?
Well, it says that the Conservative movement is healthy and that it left a party that has ceased to be conservative. Most of the provincial progressive conservative parties, I think, should drop the term progressive from their name. Progressivism and conservatism are competing philosophies that cannot coexist together. It's why progressive conservative parties tend to be a bit schizophrenic when it comes to policy. But the Alberta PCs should drop the term conservative because under Alison Redford, they are not conservative at all. They want to be fully progressive. And she even talked about that, about fundamental transformation. That's a term that Obama used, and that's kind of a dog whistle to the far left of the Democratic Party in the States. I mean, the far left of the Democrats, not your mainstream middle-of-the-road Democrats, of saying, we're going to change everything. And that was a term that she has used to describe herself and her vision of the party. And as John Robson was saying on the station just a few minutes ago, she wishes that Alberta were like somewhere else, maybe like the United Nations where she worked, or Joe Clark's Ottawa where she worked. Alison Redford is not a conservative. So the conservative movement, realizing this, shifted over to Wildrose. And this is an election that could have gone a different way. I don't think it was over before it began. If Danielle Smith wasn't putting something in the window that Albertans offered, or Albertans liked, they wouldn't be voting for her.
Well, let's talk a bit more about Danielle Smith then, Brian, because quite frankly, she's been able to dodge what Alison Redford has not been able to dodge, and that's the controversial nature of any campaign. Things do crop up, people say things get reported, things get revealed. Why was Alison Redford not able to dodge that while Danielle Smith was?
Well, I think both of them were. Both of them were hit by these sorts of things. I think that by the time the claim of the one candidate for Wildrose saying, a stupid comment to the effect of, well, I'm white so I can represent the whole area, which, by the way, was said at the same time as another candidate was saying, this other guy's white, and this is in another writing, a PC candidate was saying, well, he's white, so he can't represent us. These sorts of, this is the problem with playing ethnopolitics. A Canadian is a Canadian, in my view, and Albertans and Albertan. Let's drop this other stuff. So both sides made mistakes like that. But I think by the time they were cropping up for Wildrose, people were hungry for change and decided, you know what, Alison Redford is right. This is not your father's PC party. And we quite liked our father's PC party, and she doesn't want it to be. So we're going to go over here. And so this is as I said a moment ago, this is the conservative movement saying, hey, let's go over here to a party that's still espousing our views. And I think that's healthy. Regardless of party, movements can't be beholden to parties that won't represent them. They have to be able to move and say, you know what, you said you were with us, you're not, let's get over to the other side. Let's go with someone who actually speaks for us.
And it seems like that is the way things are going to go, Brian. And I guess we'll find out with you tonight and your co-host, Ezra Levant, hosting our coverage on election night in Alberta.
It's going to be fun. It'll be a wild ride. Looks like it could be closer than we originally thought. So you definitely want to tune in. Just quickly, Brian, I was not alive the last time government changed in Alberta. I was about 6 weeks away from being born. That was August 30th, 1971. Danielle Smith was 5 months old the last time there was a different party in power.
Well, there you go. The birth of a new party. Thanks for this, Brian.
Thank you.
That was Brian Lilley in Calgary.